So guys, I'm sure you've heard the stories na, uy, yung isang tao nag-invest sa stock market, tapos biglang bumagsak yung stock market na yon. Nagsisi siya, tapos nalungkot siya na wala lahat ng kanyang pera. Now, when it comes to these things kasi, guys, you have to understand that syempre, everybody will have different risk profile. Now, when it comes to these stories, we have to understand na ano ba talaga yung investment na pinasukan niya. Baka naman ang nangyari is mali yung investment na pinasukan niya versus kung ano yung gusto niya or even the personality niya. Or maybe, hindi niya linagay yung money niya long enough to the stock market for it to really play a part. Now, there's a lot of different stories here as well. For example, ako personally, nalugi rin naman ako with some of my investment. It is because hindi ko inintindi kung ano yung investment na yan. Hindi ko in-understand, inalam kung ano ba talaga yon at inintindi. Ang nangyayari, kadalasan dito, pumipili lang tayo kung ano yung trending. Kasi sabi nito maganda daw to. Hindi natin siya binibase on our risk. Hindi natin siya binibase on hanggang saan ba natin kaya ibigay itong pera na yan. That is why it's so important that we talk about the frameworks and also understanding ano ba yung profile natin. Ano yung risk profile natin. Kasi guys, we have to understand it first before we choose investment tools and investment instruments as well. Now, if you're going to look at it, diba, iba-iba yan. You have very, very low risk on the side of the spectrum and then you have very, very high risk on the side of the spectrum. For example, yung mga savings account mo, high sa more high yield savings account, nasa very low risk yan. And then you have individual stocks that goes to the very, very high risk. If you want to go with crypto, it can also be there naman as well. So, diba, iba-ibang type of investments, diba, you have, then MP2 can go here, yung mga bills, bonds can go somewhere here, then you have money market, then you have balanced funds, you have equity funds, then stocks. Diba, iba-iba yung kanyang spectrum. It's so important to understand yung mga risk na yan. Now, ano ba ang investment risk? Diba? Ang risk sa investing kasi ganito lang siya. Hindi siya the notion of just mawawala yung pera mo o hindi mawawala yung pera mo. Diba? Maraming mga types of risk that is involved when it comes to investing. And kung tutuusin mo, every form of investing, even yung banks natin, will have some form of risk. Anytime you invest your money, may risk pa rin yan. Iba lang, low risk, yung iba, very high risk. So again, kaya kailangan intindihin mo kung ano muna ang risk appetite mo. Now, let me break down the mga typical risks mo. Number one, you have what we call our volatility risk, diba? When you look at it, it's where the risk or the value of that investment product mo can go up or down. For example, stocks mo, equity funds mo, diba? It depends on the market, mag-up and down yan. And that's why when you look into a graph of your stock market, diba? Up, down, that's volatility risk. Pwedeng tumaas, pwedeng bumaba, diba? The second type of risk is liquidity risk. Liquidity risk naman, guys, pag iintindihin mo, ito yung tipong kailan mo makukuha mo ba kaagad yung pera mo o hindi. For example, if nasa MP2 yung pera mo, hindi mo siya technically pwede makuha kaagad, diba? Kasi naka 5-year lock-in period siya. Or for example, real estate. Real estate mo, hindi mo naman siya mabibenta kaagad. So that is liquidity risk. Meaning, if gusto ko makuha yung pera ngayon, kailangan ko siya makuha kaagad. MP2, hindi mo makuha kaagad yan. Pagbenta ng property mo, lupa mo, hindi mo rin makukuha kaagad yan. But on the flip side, you have your savings account, your high-yield savings account for your digital bank. Pwede ko kaagad kunin yan. Then meaning nun, diba, very low ang liquidity risk ng mga high sa ng savings account mo, but high ang liquidity risk mo sa MP2, sa real estate. Kasi hindi mo siya makukuha kagad. And of course, number 3, you have your default risk naman. Ang default risk, guys, etong naghahawak ng investment na kumpanya, di ba? Magbabayad ba sila o hindi? So when you're going to look at it, yung default risk, kung magsasara ba yung kumpanya o hindi. Syempre yung stocks, kahit papaano may risk yan because pwede magsara yung kumpanya. But if you're going to look at the government-backed investments, medyo mababa dyan. Di ba? T-bills, treasury bills mo, low risk yan. Kasi medyo low risk, very low risk. Kasi nga, government-backed siya. So guys, di ba? Ganun mo siya titingnan. So you have those 3 types of risk involving. Risk is not only about, kumawala yung pera ko. No, there are a lot of different risks rin. And that's why it will play a lot or a big role also when we understand ano ba yung type of risk appetite natin per person. So guys, if we want to also make it very visual sa'yo, di ba? But syempre, I want to zero in with volatility risk. Syempre, definitely, if you're going to look at this, guys, kung waves siya ng ocean, di ba? Very calm yung water mo kung nasa money market ka, ng UITFs, di ba? Then, you have medyo mas small wave kung balance yung funds mo. And then, you have big waves, which is your equity funds or your stocks. Mas malaki yung wave mo, mas malaki yung potential return mo, pero syempre, mas mataas rin yung tibok ng puso mo kasi nga parang, mas mataas yung risk involved, di ba? When you look at it, di ba, pag nagsusurfing tayo, pag hindi mo calm yung water, safe tayo dito. Pero pag mataas yung wave, nakaka-excite, di ba?
Mag-surf tayo, ganyan.
Pero syempre, pwede ka rin naman, oh my God, kainin ng alon. So gets mo, it depends on your risk as well. Are you the type na gusto mo sa calm water? Are you the type na gusto mo sa malaking wave tapos mag-ride tayo ng wave? So, ang risk guys, not necessarily masama siya. Pero, ang nagiging masama dyan is kung hindi mo alam kung anong type of risk yung para sa'yo. So that's why it's so important for you to understand the risk. Now, let's move on to my favorite part, which is again, the risk quiz. So guys, other platforms will have their own risk quiz, diba? But I want you to answer this para lang at least you get a sense, and in the future kung itatanong siya sa'yo, alam mo na siya. I'll have the worksheet also, pwede mo rin siya down below. Or if ayaw mo na mag-worksheet, walang problema, isa-isahin natin siya with you as well. So, each question, you have to understand it. You have to know it as well, diba? So guys, syempre, I will only have 5 questions, and then each question will have 3 answers, and then my corresponding points per answer mo as well. Okay, first question. If your investment drops 20% tomorrow, what do you do? A, i-withdraw mo ka agad, hindi mo na kaya yung stress. B, intayin mo, di ba? Baka bumalik din. Or C, dadagdag ka pa kasi mukhang sale ito. Okay, so write down your answers, di ba? Pwede sa sheet or pwede sa isang piece of paper para at least sabay tayo. Okay, done? Okay, next. Question number 2. When do you need the money? Yung i-invest mo, kailan mo kailangan? A, within 1 to 3 years. Short-term goal to eh. B, 3 to 7 years. Medium-term goal kasi. Or C, 7+ years. Kasi retirement ko to or long-term wealth. Okay? But write it down. And then question number 3. How stable is your monthly income? A, di masyadong stable. Medyo irregular kasi or seasonal. B, mostly stable pero may uncertainty pa rin ng konti. And C, very, very stable or very stable. May backup ka pa nga. Okay? Write it down, guys. And then question number 4 naman tayo. Have you ever invested before? A, wala pa. First time ko ito. B, meron na konti. Maybe mayroon ka ng mutual funds or meron ka ng MP2 or maybe nag-high yield savings account ka na rin. And C, oo, may stocks na nga ikaw and may experience ka na rin sa market. Write it down, guys. And then, last but not the least, question number 5. What's your financial goal for your investment or for this investment? A, gusto mo lumago ng konti ng mas mabilis kaysa sa savings account. B, gusto kong mag-build ng wealth over time with moderate growth. Or C, gusto kong i-maximize talaga yung returns. Kaya ko ang risk. Okay, so now, if you've listed out everything, di ba? Nandiyan na siya, meron ka ng ABC na yan, di ba? Per question na yan. Ito ang scoring mo. So guys, ganito siya ha. For all your letter A, lagyan mo ng 1 sa tabi niyan, 1 point yan. Lahat ng B, lagyan mo ng 2 sa tabi kasi 2 points yan. And lahat ng C, dapat 3 points yan. So dapat meron kang 5 na numbers corresponding to each alphabet na A, B, and C. Okay, then, if finish ka na dyan, guys, add all the number together. So, add mo siya. Okay? Pag na-add nyo na siya lahat, then you will have either a 1-digit number or a 2-digit number. Kasi that will be corresponding to your risk. Now, if ang total mo is 5 to 8, then conservative ang risk profile mo. If 9 to 12 naman ang score mo, moderate ang risk profile mo. And then 13 to 15 is aggressive ang iyong risk profile. So guys, add it up muna. Add mo lahat ng scores na yan, and then malalaman mo na kung anong type of investor you are. Okay? And if ever gusto nyo, comment down below kung anong type of investor you are as well. Gusto ko rin naman malaman as well. So alam nyo na, guys, ready? So alam mo, so kanina nag-add na rin ako, di ba? At least ako nag-add naman ako dito. Alam ko naman ang personal ko, and yes, I'm more of a medium and moderate to aggressive ako talaga as an investor. Okay, so now that you have your score, now that you know the type of investor you are, the risk because of your risk profile, now, guys, importante rin dito, there is nothing wrong with the type of investor profile you are. So walang right or wrong dito. Again, do not compare yourself with different people because iba yung goal mo, iba rin yung personality mo as well. Now, let's begin. The first profile is definitely your conservative investor. Diba? You scored 5 to 8 from the previous quiz natin. Syempre, ikaw yung tipong tao na you prefer stability, you prefer safety over high returns. You don't wanna see big swings, diba? Kung titingnan na yung alon, ayaw mo. Gusto mo medyo calm waters tayo. And your goals are more short-term. Walang problema. Now, the best investment type definitely will be your Pag-ibig MP2, your money market UITFs. Time deposit is really good. If ever you wanna go with SSS na WIS Plus, pwede ka rin din. Or even your government-backed tulad ng T-bills, RTBs natin sa Pilipinas. And of course, your HISA, which is your high yield savings account as well. Now, expected return natin dito usually nasa 3 to 8% a year. Wala ka dapat ikahiya rin dito if you are a conservative investor. Mas mabuti, meron kang 7% from the Pag-ibig MP2, di ba? Kaysa naman, let's say you have 20, 30%, pero hindi ka nakakatulog, nasa stress ka, hindi ka naman at peace and at ease. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong to be a conservative investor because you need to understand who you are and what type of investor you are. So guys, wag niyo ko ikahihiya yan. Walang problema yan. Don't let other people tell you otherwise. Profile number 2, you have the moderate investor naman. Dito, you scored around 9 to 12 from the previous quiz. You're more comfortable with some ups and downs. Diba? Some up and down. Then yung goal mo is medium term. Then you want savings. Diba? You want more savings but ayaw mo masyado ng matataas na volatility. Ayaw mo yung parang, hala, hindi ako makatulog kasi ang taas ng bagsak agad ng market. Then definitely the best investment for you can be balanced UITFs. REITs is also good. Index funds, diba? Following the index, either the S&P 500, PSEI, depending on you, or pwede ka mag-combine. Ito yung maganda when more of the moderate ka na, combine ka. You still have your MP2, you still have your HISA, but meron kang mga equity UITF, meron kang mga index funds sa mga US market, S&P 500. Usually, expected return mo dito will be 8 to 15%. Long-term average to guys, meaning lang long-term, syempre, throughout the years. Hindi yan porque titingnan mo kaagad ng, ito na ba kailangan? Now, when it comes to moderate investors, ito yung parang sweet spot ng karamihan, di ba? Hindi ka sobrang careful or hindi ka masyadong low risk naman, but okay ka rin naman with some form of risk. Balanse, di ba? Tulad ng very maayos mong budget, balanse ka. And this is where it's also nice that you can diversify rin na para meron kang high risk, then you also have very low risk as well. As we progress in life, definitely, di ba? The lower risk is for more of your maturing market na dapat. In a sense, that's a lot of your investment books out there because syempre, you want low risk kasi nga, mas matanda ka na, mas ayaw mo na ng masyadong maraming risk. You want stability and yung kita mo naman or yung gastos mo, mas kumukonti rin naman. So, those lower risk that gives you 4 to 8% return, dapat pwede ka na mabuhay with that. Now, when you go with moderate naman, this is good also when relatively you're younger pa, when you're starting off your family pa lang, where konti pa rin lang man yung gastos mo, you can have more form of risk because bata ka pa eh. Wala ka pa naman masyadong binubuhay, di ba? That's why you can balance it out pa. And as you progress in life, kung mas kailangan mo ng stability, then you also rebalance your portfolio as well. And of course, last but not the least, which is the third profile mo, which is the aggressive investor naman. You scored 13 to 15 doon sa test natin. Ito, high risk tolerance. Long yung time horizon mo. You are very comfortable with volatility. You want maximum growth. Wala ako pake kahit malaki yung alon yan, susulong ako dyan. Ang pera na to, I'm okay kasi long term, hindi ko siya kailangan tingnan. Yung lalagay ko siya sa market, lalagay ko na siya. Best investment, definitely, individual stocks. Mapa-local ka man or mapa-international. Equity UITFs. Global index funds mo, which is the S&P 500. Diba? Nasdaq feeder funds mo. Then you can do REITs, diba? As another added income layer. Expected returns mo here, 15 to 30%. Diba? But again, it depends on the market. It depends on what happens in the world. Just before shooting this video, diba? Nakita natin, bagsak ng bonggang-bongga yung S&P 500 nung nagkaroon ng kaguluhan sa Iran, diba? In the US. But now,
books, bumulusok na naman siya. Ang taas naman right now.
so again, hindi mo talaga siya masabi because again, it follows the market, di ba? For this one, ang mga ganitong investor, malaki ang bagsak ng market, hindi siya natatakot. They see it as opportunity. I will buy more. Pero ang importante dito, when you are an aggressive investor, you know that the money that you're seeing here is not something that kailangan ko siya gamitin kaagad in the next few months or in the next year. It's for my long term. Yeah, ako, I'm also good as aggressive. It's because for me, okay, I have money ko nakaset aside, hindi ko siya kailangan i-touch for the next 30 years. Then, for me, I can accept these type of risks because wala pa ako pamilya, wala pa akong anak. Diba yun yung sasabi nila? The younger you are, the more you are okay with risk. That's a lot of investing books out there that says, dapat mas okay ka pa mag-risk. Then, as you progress, as you mature in life, mas ilo-lower mo yung mga risk because you want more stability as well. Now, guys, since you've already found out kung ano yung type of investor you are, definitely, nandito yung mga different roadmaps natin as well. Then, you can go directly sa Kwarta 101 natin na Act 2 or Act 3, depending on where you want to do it. But guys, syempre, I have all of the different videos all linked down below as well here. So if ever, ito yung profile mo, then here are some of the potential videos or episodes that you can watch. Definitely, if you're a conservative profile, definitely you can watch the MP2 episode. Tingnan mo rin all of your UITF episode. Tingnan mo rin yung mga HISA or High Yield Savings Account na episode rin natin as well. So pwede yon as some of the potential. Then, if ever you're a moderate risk profile naman or moderate investor, risk investor, you can watch the episodes on UITFs, you can watch the episode on REITs, you can watch the episode on index funds as well, or panoorin mo pa rin lahat, walang problema. And if you are an aggressive investor naman, then you can watch all the different episodes, but you can also watch the index funds episode first. You can watch into stocks episode, or you can watch also also the episodes on portfolio building, or guys, just watch everything. Again, this can be our potential pathway, but hindi naman siyang set in stone na pathway mo. So guys, it is all potential here. Now, alam mo kung sino ka na, alam mo which type of investor you are, you can now choose the proper investment for you. Dito sa Kwarta 101 mo, Act 2, Act 3, definitely, nandiyan yung mga pathways, nandiyan din yung mga portfolios, nandiyan din ang mga plays na yan. So guys, knowing yourself is so important as an investor. Kasi mahalaga that you have the foundation and you need to know what type of investment vehicles you're okay to invest in. We have to have the foundation first bago tayo mag-construct. Katulad ng mga bahay na yan, di ba? Kailangan alamin mo muna, kailangan strong yung pundasyon ng bahay mo. And of course, with everything else, don't forget, like this video, hit that subscribe button rin. And of course, bell notification button so you get notified every time I release a new video. And of course, share mo rin sa friends and family mo kasi nga guys, kailangan sharing is caring pa rin tayo. And of course, in the next episode, di ba, let us talk about compounding interest. The powerful concept about compounding interest and why it's so important. And in those episodes and in that episode, in that video, syempre, I can show you some of the tools na I've already used that I already have when it comes to compounding interest. Para makita nyo, yes, the power of compounding interest is very valuable and is something that can really help you. And dapat bago ka pa lang or bata ka pa lang mag-start ka because time will be on your hand if bata ka mag-start mag-invest. So guys, I will see you on the next vlog. Bye guys!